So the first step in creating this stylish necklace is we have to measure out our chain to the right length. So I'm going to, you can obviously change the length and redesign it however you like, but I'm going to use the ruler and measure 4 inches between my beads. So this will give me about 9 beads. I'm going to use the ruler and my wire cutters, and I'm going to measure 4 inches and snip. And I'm going to go ahead and do that to all the wires, so that part is done. 4 inches and snip. And once you have all of your pieces ready to go, then we'll set up the beads. The fun thing about this technique is you can redesign it however you like and modify it by creating a collection. So when I'm designing a collection, I like to have at least 12 pieces that all go together and make a story. So today we made our earring, and this is the necklace that can go with that collection. I'm going to line up all of my pieces at 4 inches. And now we're ready to get going with the beads. I'm going to use a round faceted turquoise bead to make this design, and I'm going to use yellow gold hard wire. This is gold fill wire. It's not expensive. You can get a large spool of it, but I personally like the contrast between the silver, the gemstone color, and the gold. This creates a little bit of dimension, and a mixed metal look is always fun. This is a longer piece of wire, so if you'd like to work with a smaller piece, you can cut it about 1 foot, and this way you're not dealing with that big spool. And we can put this one away. I'm gonna go with my first piece of chain and my first bead. Just like in the last video, we're gonna use the thin round nose plier, get the very tip of the wire and bend around to make a circle. And remember, it's going to be crooked. So you have to do that extra step to straighten out each of your jump rings. Now I'm going to connect my first piece of chain. Oh, this one needs to be open a little more. Leave enough of an opening to get your chain through, and then close your chain with the flat nose plier. Not squeezing too hard, but close it completely and give it a little bit of a squeeze just to harden the metal a little bit. Now I'm going to string my first bead. Now you can add 1, 2, or 3 beads, whatever you like. There's no rules here. Just have fun and design with freedom. I'm going to bend around, keep it close to the bead, and pull it tight. And now we're going to snip the other side of the jump ring here. Use the flat nose plier to round it out. And before you close it, we're going to attach the other chain. So now we have chain attached to both sides of the bead. And the jump rings are nice and small, and they really blend in with the chain. You don't want big chunky jump rings for fine jewelry. You want elegant small jump rings on everything, and everything to be even. But I love that tiny hint of gold that this wire creates. Here we go to the next one. I'm going to use the tip of my plier and bend the circle around, straightening it out, and then add it to the last chain. Close with the plier, and voila. String your bead. Hold it very close to the bead, squeezing lightly and bending around with a tight pull. Cut close. Open a little and add your next chain. Grab it and close. Perfect. Keep going and go as long as you like. This technique can take you a lot of places. When you're done with your necklace, you're going to have a beautifully spaced out chain link with your turquoise or any stone you like. This is beautiful with pearls. I prefer natural gems, but anything you like. In this style, we didn't do it even. We went asymmetrical, which is just another way to do things. Any way you do it, it's a great piece. You can also take this design another way and wear it as a lariat. So you can double it up and add a clasp to it here. So if you have a ring or a clasp, you can always add it here and change the look of the piece. For example, if I took it in two separate places, bent it around, add a clasp, you have a completely different look necklace, and it's the same technique. So that would be two separate necklaces in your collection. All you have to do is add a jump ring to the two ends and a clasp. We'll do that now. Another technique of taking your long 30-inch chain into another style is to stretch it out in one length, and I'm going to pinch it a little bit, 1 inch inside of the line. There's two lines here, and I'm going to pinch it 1 inch inside the line and pick it up. So now you can see that the chain has two lengths and it's a double link chain. You want to make sure the inside is 16 inches, and you can measure that by pulling the two, pinching, straightening it out like this, and grab your ruler. So from the tip, which you'll add the clasp here, to the bottom, here we go. We're just about 8 inches. It could be a little longer, so we're just gonna drag it down a little bit and move that up. 16 inches is a standard short necklace, so now we're about right. I'm going to take the two top pinches and we're going to add the clasp to one side and the jump ring to the other. So your chain link should have enough room to hook on the clasp, which is an open jump ring, and hook that onto one of the links. If your chain is too small, you can add an additional jump ring or go with a bigger chain, but it's better if it's locked in. Now I'm going to close this with my plier. This is all sterling silver, and close the clasp on one side. Now for the other side, I have to attach this to another jump ring. But my jump ring is a little too thick to go through the chain. So don't lose your spot of 16 inches. And I'm going to go ahead and grab my silver wire. And I'm going to teach you how to make a little jump ring for the end of this necklace. Now we have the round nose plier, but I'm not going to use the 1mm tip. I'm going to use a little bit more in the middle, so the jump ring is larger. And I'm going to grab the wire and turn it around the plier. I can go in again and keep going because you want it to be round. And if you keep going, you're going to make a nice little spiral, which will be perfect jump rings for anything. Take your wire cutters, go in starting at the end, and snip. Now we have our jump ring. I'm going to pick it up with the flat nose plier, and you can open and close it with your finger or another plier by grabbing both ends and going back and forth like this. So now I'm going to take the other end of my chain and I'm going to loop it through a link. Which hopefully it will go through. Otherwise, you can use a thinner, this is a pretty thin chain. So I'm going to go ahead and loop it through, and I'm going to close it with the jump ring, the pliers. Go back and forth a little bit so it creates a little tension, and make sure all the points are closed. Now I can put my clasp. Oh, I have another jump ring here. I have an additional jump ring here, so I'm going to open it and put that through. And now it is all connected. So now we made two styles of necklaces with one long 30-inch chain. Again, you can make it longer or shorter, whatever you like. But you just made two styles of necklace with one technique. The nice thing about the asymmetry is it creates a little bit of looseness and casualness to the piece, or the symmetry also is a beautiful look. Depending on the stones you use, the piece will look different. This is using a natural nugget-shaped bead of amethyst. These are great healing energy pieces and really fun to make. Thank you for joining me in today's necklace making class. Today we made two versions of a simple necklace using sterling silver chain and gemstone beads. This is the long necklace, which is great for putting right over your head. And then we folded it and added a clasp for the shorter version, which is a 2-layer necklace. Delicate, elegant, and looks great with everything. Thanks so much. See you next time.